In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can use a pyramid report as a data source in Power BI. So in order to do this, you do need two things to start with. First of all, you need your pyramid server to be configured with a special package called OData. The OData package will allow you to use pyramid content as sources in other BI tools. So you will, if you do not already have this on your server, you will have to reach out to Pyramid sales team to get information on how to acquire that package. So that's the first thing, is you need that configured on your Pyramid server. Second is you need a source report. And the source report needs to just contain the attributes from the pyramid model that you want to have access to in Power BI. So in this example here, I've got a simple, what I call a data dump report that happens to have 4 measures and 4 attributes from that model. I've saved it. And then to use this in Power BI, it's as simple as either going to Content Manager and going to the Action panel, or if you've already got it open, down at the bottom here on the tabs, you'll see that there's this Extensions menu option. And in the Extensions menu option, you should be able to access the OData Feed URL. So once I click on that, I now have the address to this particular report. So once I've got this report URL, then all I need to do is go into Power BI, and I can say I want to get data. And in the Power BI UI, you will find under the data source options, you will find an OData data feed as a source type. So I'm going to choose that OData data feed, and then it's going to ask me for the URL, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And if I've never connected to this particular server before, it will actually prompt me for credentials. And typically the best way to configure it is through either the Windows authentication, if that's what Pyramid is using, or there's an option for basic authentication. And basic authentication means you'll just enter in your username and password to Pyramid in order to connect to it. Once you've got that, you will then get the data set, and we can load it into Power BI. And in this case, it did have a few errors. That's because some of the data actually has nulls, and apparently Power BI doesn't like nulls. So we're just going to go ahead and ignore that for now. But you'll see we now have the ability to pick this information and view it in Power BI. However, it makes the most sense for what you're trying to do. So we'll let's see. We want that as a chart, and we'll do profit. And there you go. So now this report is running, or this data is now running inside of Power BI. Of course, anytime you want the latest and greatest data, you can just hit the Power BI refresh so that it pulls the latest and greatest data from Pyramid, and you can then use that within Power BI. Once again, the whole point of all of this is making Pyramid the central repository for all data so that it can be managed and monitored, and then all of your BI tools, whether it's Power BI, Excel, I think even Tableau supports OData feeds, so you can use Pyramid as the central component for all of your logic and data. And then if you have these other tools that still need to be used within your organization, you can have them running through Pyramid to get the data to provide the information back to your users. So that helps maintain that one version of the truth. So hopefully that made sense. Once again, just to recap, what we've got is on the Pyramid side, the most important piece is you have to have that license package called OData in order for this to work. And then you create a source report that has the elements that you want to include in the other tool. And you get that URL, that OData Feed URL. And then in that other tool, you set up an OData Feed connection and you're able to pull that information into that other tool. So hopefully that makes sense.